Did you know that there's no dating in Japanese high schools? Japan is known for its rich culture and traditions, and its schools have some of the most diverse rules in the world, from unusual restrictions to strict dress codes. Some of the rules might surprise you, so we're sharing 20 school rules in Japan that you won't believe are real. Number 20. Female students must wear white underwear in some Japanese high schools. Female students were once required to wear white underwear, a rule that seems almost unbelievable today. This regulation was supposedly in place to ensure uniformity and prevent any distractions that might arise from visible colored undergarments. However, the enforcement of this rule often led to uncomfortable and invasive practices, where teachers would check students' compliance by asking them to reveal their underwear, a clear violation of privacy. The strictness of this rule and the methods used to enforce it sparked outrage and concern among students, parents, and human rights activists. Critics argued that such regulations were not only outdated, but also contributed to a culture of control and surveillance over young women's bodies as awareness grew. So did the pressure to abolish these invasive practices in recent years due to increasing criticism and a broader movement towards respecting students' privacy. Many schools have finally done away with this controversial rule. Number 19. No dating, unlike what you see in their movies. Dating is not permitted in many Japanese high schools. This is because academic achievement is taken very seriously, and some schools have gone as far as to implement strict no-dating policies to keep students focused on their studies. These schools are based on the belief that romantic relationships could distract students from their academic responsibilities and hinder their performance. The logic is that teenage emotions, with their inevitable highs and lows, might lead to a lack of concentration, lower grades, or even behavioral issues. Enforcing these rules can be quite intense in some schools. Students are required to sign pledges agreeing not to date during their time in school. Teachers and school staff may even monitor interactions between male and female students, stepping in if they suspect a relationship might be developing. In some cases, students who are caught dating can face disciplinary actions, such as being reprimanded, suspended, or even expelled in a landmark case that happened in 2019. A student was effectively expelled for violating the school's strict no-dating rule, a regulation designed to keep students focused on their studies and future careers, particularly in the entertainment and sports industries. The student then, in her third year, was found to be in a relationship with another student. Despite her strong academic performance and a recommendation letter for university admission, the school revoked the letter and pressured her to drop out, although the Tokyo District Court ruled in favor of a former student from Hoshi High School in Tokyo's Nano Ward, ordering the school to pay about still upheld the no-dating rule as consistent with the school's educational philosophy. Number 18. No lateness to school in Japanese schools. Punctuality is taken very seriously, and being late is no small matter. Students are expected to arrive on time every day, often with the first bell ringing as early as 8 a.m. The emphasis on punctuality is rooted in Japan's cultural values of discipline and respect for others, and schools enforce this with strict rules and even stricter punishments. If a student is late, they can expect more than just a disapproving GL from their teacher punishments, for tardiness can range from verbal warnings to written apologies, and in more severe cases, students may be required to stay after school for detention. Repeated lateness can result in harsher consequences, such as being barred from attending classes that day, which could impact their grades in some schools. Habitual lateness is recorded in a student permanent record, which could affect their chances of getting into a good university. To avoid these penalties, students often go to great lengths to ensure they're on time, from waking up at the crack of dawn to meticulously planning their commutes. Number 17. School uniforms are compulsory in Japan. School uniforms are as integral to student life as homework and exams from kindergartens to high schools. Uniforms are worn by nearly every student, making it a cultural staple that lasts for at least just school spirit, but also the collective values of uniformity and group mentality that are deeply embedded in Japanese society. The classic Japanese school uniform for girls typically includes a sailor-style blouse with a pleated skirt, while boys often sport a neat blazer with matching trousers. This adherence to uniformity is meant to minimize distractions and emphasize equality among students. However, it also means students have limited opportunities to express their individuality during their formative years. Although there are no strict laws mandating uniforms, guidelines from the Ministry of Education are not compulsory. Most schools enforce them. Some schools, recognizing the potential impact on personal expression and economic constraints, may allow exceptions or adopt more flexible policies. The debate over compulsory uniforms continues, with traditionalists advocating for uniformity and democratic educators pushing for more personal freedom. Number 16. Respectful greetings in Japan. Courtesy is woven into the very fabric of daily school life, and nothing illustrates this better than the ubiquitous practice of respectful greetings. Picture this as students enter their classrooms. They're greeted with a chorus of synchronized bows and polite greetings, creating a scene straight out of a textbook on manners. This daily ritual is more than just a formality. It's a deeply ingrained cultural norm that emphasizes respect and humility. Every morning, students perform a respectful bow and say, "Ohei, yugoasu," good morning to their teachers and peers. This bowing ritual isn't just a quick nod. It's a deep, deliberate gesture that signifies respect and acknowledges the presence of others throughout the day. Similar greetings are exchanged whenever students interact with teachers or fellow classmates, reinforcing a culture of politeness and mutual respect. Number 15. No dye hair in Japan. Strict hair color regulations are a hallmark of many schools, with black being the only permissible color for student hair. This rule is enforced to maintain a uniform appearance and minimize distractions within the school environment. Students with naturally brown or colored hair must either dye their hair black or provide proof that their natural color is brown. The enforcement of this rule is meticulous. For instance, students with naturally lighter hair colors often have to present documentation from a medical professional or a hair specialist to verify their natural hair color. This verification process, while intended to accommodate natural variations, adds an extra layer of bureaucracy to an already stringent policy cases of students being reprimanded or sent home for not complying with hair color. Regulations are not uncommon. For example, a high school in Osaka once made headlines when a student was penalized for not dyeing her naturally brown hair black despite presenting a medical certificate. Number 14. Prohibition on jewelry and accessories in Japanese schools. The prohibition on jewelry and accessories is a strict policy aimed at maintaining a uniform and distraction-free environment. Students are often required to forego not only jewelry, but also makeup and nail polish. The rationale behind this rule is to ensure that all students appear identical and focused solely on their studies, avoiding any potential for distraction or competition based on personal appearance. Jewelry, including rings, necklaces, and earrings, is typically banned because it can draw attention and disrupt the uniformity of school attire. Similarly, makeup and nail polish are prohibited to prevent students from using these items as a means of self-expression, which might lead to conflicts over personal style and potentially distract from academic responsibilities. For instance, students caught wearing nail polish or subtle makeup may be required to remove it immediately and face disciplinary actions, such as reprimands or detention. Number 13. Self-study. When teachers are absent in Japan, the approach to handling a teacher's absence is quite unique and speaks volumes about the country's emphasis on self-discipline and responsibility. When teachers are absent, students are expected to engage in self-study, a practice that underscores the importance of independent learning and personal accountability. Imagine walking into a classroom only to find it empty and the teacher's desk vacant. Instead of waiting around or getting frustrated, students know exactly what to do. They pull out their textbooks, review their notes, and dive into assigned tasks or group studies sessions. The expectation is clear. Learning doesn't pause for anyone, and students must make productive use of their time, even without direct supervision. This practice is deeply rooted in Japanese educational philosophy, which values self-reliance and initiative. It's not uncommon for students to use this time to work on projects, discuss difficult concepts with classmates, or review materials in preparation for upcoming exams. In some cases, students even organize peer tutoring sessions or study groups to ensure they stay on track. Number 12. Napping is commendable in Japanese elementary schools. Napping is not just a rare luxury, but a commendable practice. Especially for younger students, the concept is gaining traction as schools recognize the benefits of short rest periods on students' well-being and learning efficiency in elementary schools. Particularly, napping is encouraged to help young children recharge and improve their focus for the rest of the school day. The practice supports not only mental sharpness, but also physical health, allowing students to return to their lessons refreshed and more engaged. Aged napping periods are flexible. Students are not compelled to sleep, but are given the option to rest. One prominent example is the Kakawa Chesta trial at Kakugawa Junior High School in Hyogo Prefecture. Inspired by successful trials in high schools, the Student Council advocated for attention spans and energy levels. This short nap time aligns with broader educational practices in Japan, where the importance of rest is well recognized. This approach helps in maintaining a positive atmosphere where students can take advantage of the benefits of a brief nap while respecting personal preferences. Number 11. No student is held back in Japan. The educational system takes a unique approach to student advancement. Unlike in many countries where students may be held back a grade due to low academic performance, Japan's schools have a different strategy here. The focus is on continuous support and improvement rather than retention. Instead of repeating a grade, Japanese students move forward with their peers each year. This system is designed to maintain a sense of unity and avoid the stigma associated with being held back. The emphasis is on providing additional help and encouragement to students who might be struggling. Teachers employ various methods from extra tutoring sessions to personalized support, ensuring that every student has the opportunity to catch up. This approach reflects Japan's commitment to fostering a collaborative and inclusive learning environment. The goal is to ensure that all students progress together with the understanding that some may need more time or support to master the material. It's a system that values the collective advancement of students over individual setbacks, promoting a supportive atmosphere where everyone moves forward as a team. Number 10. Yellow hats in Japan. First-grade students are easily recognizable by their iconic yellow hats, a safety measure that highlights the country's dedication to child welfare. These bright yellow caps are more than just a fashion statement. They serve a crucial role in keeping young students safe, particularly when they navigate busy streets on their way to and from school. The yellow hats are designed to make first graders highly visible to drivers, helping prevent accidents and ensure that students are easily spotted by adults and traffic authorities. This visibility is especially important as many Japanese children walk to school independently from a young age, and crossing roads is an everyday part of their commute. The tradition of yellow hats is deeply ingrained in Japanese school culture. The hats often come with a wide brim to provide shade and additional safety features, like reflective strips to enhance visibility. Number 9. No running on the highways in Japanese schools. The prohibition on running in hallways is a strict rule aimed at ensuring safety and maintaining order. As soon as the beginning bell rings, students are expected to swiftly return to their classrooms and settle into their seats without delay. However, speed is not the priority. Instead, Maintaining a calm and orderly environment is paramount. Running in the hallways is strictly prohibited to prevent accidents and ensure that all students move about the school in a controlled manner. Upon entering the classroom, students are reminded to use an inside voice, reflecting the emphasis on quiet and respectful behavior. This rule reinforces the importance of creating a peaceful learning atmosphere where everyone can focus on their studies without disruptions. The expectation to walk rather than run aligns with broader principles of discipline and safety that are central to the Japanese educational system. Once the class begins, students are expected to take their seats, promptly adhering to the established routines that help keep the school environment orderly and conducive to learning. Number 8. Students clean up their own schools. In Japanese schools, the absence of janitors or professional cleaners is a distinctive feature that inspired the culture of shared responsibility among students. Instead of relying on cleaning staff, students are actively involved in maintaining the cleanliness of their school environment. Every day, students dedicate approximately 30 minutes to cleaning various areas of the school. This routine, known as tsuji, includes tasks such as sweeping classrooms, mopping hallways, dusting desks, and tidying staircases. Each student is assigned specific duties, and this collective effort ensures that no area is overlooked. Students work in groups, rotating through different tasks and sections of the school to ensure a thorough cleaning process. The cleaning period is structured to be efficient, with a focus on completing the tasks within the allotted 30 minutes. This practice not only keeps the school environment clean, but also instills important values in students. By participating in daily cleaning duties, students learn the value of hard work, cooperation, and respect for their shared. Number 7. No mobile phones in Japanese schools. The ban on mobile phones is taken very seriously, reflecting the country's commitment to maintaining a focused and distraction-free learning environment. Students are required to leave their phones at home or store them in designated lockers before entering school. The policy is designed to minimize distractions during class, ensuring that students remain engaged and attentive. In addition, mobile phones are banned during breaks and lunchtime to encourage face-to-face interactions and reduce the risk of cyberbullying. If a student is caught with a mobile phone on school grounds, the consequences can be quite strict. The phone is typically confiscated and the student's parents are notified. Repeated offenses may result in more severe penalties, such as detention or even a temporary suspension. Some schools go a step further by requiring students to write an apology letter or attend counseling sessions to address the misuse of mobile devices. Number 6. Winter coats in Japanese schools. Students are bound by the whimsical but strict rule of winter uniforms only after a designated date, regardless of the biting cold. This tradition reflects the country's dedication to maintaining uniformity and adherence to school policies. Students must endure the chill of early winter months in their summer uniforms, a seemingly paradoxical rule that emphasizes discipline over comfort. The switch to winter attire is strictly regulated and can only occur after a set date, often determined by each school's administrative calendar. This rule ensures that all students make the transition together, creating a unified and orderly appearance. The changeover date is typically chosen to coincide with the official start of the winter season, which varies from school to school. Until then, students must tough out the cold, bundled up in their light summer uniforms. The decision to hold off on winter uniforms, even amidst freezing temperatures, underscores the value placed on maintaining a standard dress code and adhering to school traditions. Number 5. No bringing of food from home to school. In Japanese schools, students are strictly prohibited from bringing food from home, a rule designed to maintain uniformity and ensure all students adhere to the same meal standards. Instead, students rely on school-provided meals, which are typically served in the cafeteria or distributed as bento boxes. While the policy aims to create a fair environment and streamline meal management, it often sparks complaints among students. Many students find the quality of school-provided meals to be less appealing compared to homemade food. Common grievances include bland flavors, repetitive menus, and the occasional lack of freshness. This dissatisfaction is a frequent topic of conversation among students who reminisce about the tastier, more varied meals they enjoy at home. Despite these complaints, the system is in place for several reasons, including nutritional balance and ensuring that all students have access to a consistent, healthy diet. School meals are carefully planned to meet dietary guidelines and provide essential nutrients. Number 4. No chewing gum or snack in class. In Japanese schools, the classroom is a sanctuary of focus and discipline where eating, drinking, and chewing gum are strictly off limits. This policy reflects the emphasis placed on maintaining a respectful and distraction-free learning environment. During class, students are expected to keep their attention solely on their studies. The prohibition against eating and drinking ensures that no crumbs or spills disrupt the learning space, while the ban on gum chewing prevents distracting noises and potential messes. This rule is part of a broader culture of respect and consideration for others, fostering an atmosphere where students can concentrate fully on their lessons. However, this does not mean students are left hungry or thirsty. Recess and designated break times offer opportunities for students to enjoy snacks and drinks. During these times, students can step outside the classroom to refresh themselves and socialize, making the most of their short breaks. This balance ensures that students can satisfy their appetites while keeping classroom environments clean and focused. Number 3, designated walkways in Japanese schools, ensuring the safety of students, extends beyond the classroom to their daily commutes to enhance security and order. Many schools enforce designated commute routes that students must follow when traveling to and from school. These routes are carefully planned by school administrators and local authorities to minimize risks such as traffic accidents or encounters with unfamiliar individuals. The designated paths often include well-monitored streets and pedestrian crossings, and they may avoid busy or potentially hazardous areas. The intention is to create a predictable and safer journey for students, providing peace of mind for parents and educators. Students are expected to adhere strictly to these routes, and deviations are typically discouraged. This policy is part of a broader safety protocol that includes school patrols and regular communication with local law enforcement to ensure that the routes remain secure. In some cases, schools even organize safety patrols or volunteer parent groups to monitor the routes and assist students during peak commuting hours. Number 2. Strict attendance in Japanese schools. Strict attendance policies underscore the value placed on punctuality and regular attendance. Missing school for reasons other than illness or a family emergency is heavily frowned upon, and the repercussions for trainee are notably stringent. Students are expected to attend school daily and on time, with exceptions made only for genuine circumstances, like medical issues or urgent family matters. Absences without a valid excuse can lead to significant consequences. Schools maintain detailed records of attendance, and frequent absences or tardiness are met with disciplinary actions, including parental notifications and mandatory meetings. With school officials, trainee is taken very seriously, and repeated offenses can result in more severe penalties. These may include detention, additional academic assignments, or even counseling sessions aimed at addressing the underlying causes of absenteeism. In some cases, schools might involve local authorities to ensure that students comply with attendance regulations. Number 1. Strict curfew in Japan. Strict curfews for students are in place, ensuring young people get adequate rest and stay safe for high school students under the age of 18. The general expectation is to be home by 10 p.m. On school nights, this curfew is part of a broader effort to promote healthy sleep patterns and academic performance, as well as to safeguard students from potential nighttime hazards. The 10 p.m. curfew is not universally applied, but serves as a general guideline with variations depending on the city or municipality. In some areas, The curfew may be adjusted slightly to accommodate local conditions or specific needs. For instance, in urban areas with high school activities or part-time jobs, the curfew might extend a bit later, while in rural areas it might be more strictly enforced. Schools, parents, and local authorities collaborate to reinforce these curfews, emphasizing their importance for student well-being and safety. The curfew helps ensure that students have ample time to rest, which is crucial for their overall health and academic success. By adhering to these regulations, students can better manage their time-balanced school demands with personal life and contribute to a safer community environment.